This is Vision Playlist. This is the Dreams and Visions playlist. I'm going to be reading from Ezekiel. I'm going to do 7 and 8. This is a vision of the sins of Jerusalem. Let's start at, the Lord says this, clap your hands and stamp your feet and say, alas, for all the abominable sins of the house of Israel, which is about to perish by sword, famine, and plague. Far off they will die by plague. Near at hand they will fall by the sword. Those who are spared will be besieged and will die of hunger. Since I mean to satisfy my fury against them, you will know that I am the Lord when their corpses cut to pieces lie there among their idols, around their altars, on every high hill, on every mountaintop, under every spreading tree, under every leafy oak. In fact, wherever they offer an appeasing fragrance to all their idols. I mean to stretch out my hand against them and reduce the country to an empty wasteland from the desert to Riblah, the length and the breadth of the country, so that they will learn that I am the Lord. And the word of the Lord was addressed to me as follows, Son of man, say, the Lord says this to the land of Israel, finished. The end is coming. For the 4 quarters of the land now all is over with you. I mean to unleash my anger on you and judge you as your conduct deserves and force you to answer for all your filthy practices. I mean to show you no pity. I will not spare you. I am going to call you to account for your conduct and for the filthy practices that you parade. And you will learn that I am the Lord. The Lord says this, now, disaster is going to follow on disaster. The end is coming. The end is coming for you. It's coming now. Now is your turn. You who live in this country, the time has come, the day is near. No joy now, only tumult and the mountains. Soon I'm going to pour out my fury on you and exhaust my anger at you, and I will judge you as your conduct deserves and call you to account for all your filthy practices. I mean to show you neither pity nor mercy. Since I am going to call you to account for your conduct and for the filthy practices which you parade, and so you will learn that I am the Lord and that I strike. Here is the day. It has come. Your turn has come. The scourge is ready, the pride at its peak. Violence has risen to become the scourge of wickedness. The time has come. The day is near. Let neither buyer rejoice nor seller regret, for anger rages all alike. The seller will not recover what he sold. They will all carry on sinning, and none will be stronger for it. The trumpet will all sound, all will be ready, but none will go to battle, since my anger rages alike against all. Outside the sword, inside plague and famine. Anyone who's found in the countryside will die by the sword. Anyone found in the city will be devoured by famine and plague. The fugitives will run away and make for the mountains, and I shall slaughter them all like the doves of the valley. Each for his sin, limp hands, quaking knees, they will put on sackcloth, shudder all over. All their faces will be red with shame, and every head will be shaved. They will throw their silver down in the streets, and their gold will fill them with horror. Never again will they have enough to eat. Never again will they fill their bellies, since they have been the cause of their crimes. They used to pride themselves on the beauty of the jewelry out of which they made their loathsome images and idols. That is why I mean to make it an object of horror to them. I intend to hand it over to be the plunderer of foreigners and loot for the local brigades who will profane it. I shall turn my face from them. My treasury will be profaned. Barbarians will force their way in and profane it. Forge yourself a chain, for the country is filled with bloody murders, the city full of violent crime. I am going to summon the cruelest of nations to seize the houses. I will break the pride of the grandees. Their sanctuaries will be profaned. Anguish is on its way. They will look for peace, and there will be none. Disaster will follow on disaster, rumor on rumor. They will pester the prophet for a vision. The priest will be at a loss over the law, and the elders on how to advise. The king will go into mourning, the prince be plunged into grief, and the hands of the country people tremble. I mean to treat them so as their conduct deserves, and judge them as their own verdicts merit, and so they will learn that I am the Lord. And it was in the 6th year, on the 5th day of the 6th month, that I was sitting at home, and the elders of Judah were with me, and the hand of the Lord fell upon me, and I looked, and I saw something that looked like a man, downward from what seemed to be his loins, he was on fire, and upward from his loins he seemed to shine like polished bronze. He stretched out what seemed to be a hand and took me by my hair, and the Spirit lifted me up into the air, and the visions of God took me to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the north gate, where the idol of jealousy stands, provoking jealousy. There I saw the glory of God of Israel as I had seen it in the valley. And he said, Son of man, raise your eyes to the north. And I raised my eyes to the north. And there to the north of the altar gate stood the statue of jealousy at the entrance. He said, Son of man, do you see what they're doing? Do you see all the filth practiced here by the house of Israel to drive me out of my sanctuary? You will see filthier practices yet. He next took me to the entrance of the court, and I looked, and there was a hole in the wall. He said, Son of man, break through the wall. And I broke through the wall, and there was a door. And he said, Go in and look at the filthy designs they're doing inside. I went in and looked at all sorts of images of snakes, repulsive animals, and all the idols of the house of Israel drawn on the wall all around. 70 elders of the house of Israel were standing in front of the idols, among them Jazaniah the son of Shaphan, each one censer in his hand. The fragrance of incense was rising. He said, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel do in the dark, each in his painted room? They say the Lord cannot see us. The Lord abandoned the country. He said, You're going to see them out of filthier practices still. Next, he took me to the entrance of the north gate at the temple of the Lord, where the women were sitting, weeping for Tammuz. He said, Son of man, do you see that? You're going to see even filthier things than that. He led me to the inner court of the temple of the Lord. And there, at the entrance to the sanctuary of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, there was about 25 men, with their backs to the sanctuary of the Lord, and their faces towards the east. They were bowing east and worshiping the sun. He said, Son of man, do you see? Is it not bad enough for the house of Judah to do the filthy things that they are doing here? But they fill the country with violence and provoke my anger further. Look at them now, putting that branch to their nostrils. My anger forces me to do it. I will show them neither pity nor mercy, that they may shout as they like, and I will not listen to them. Then, as I listened, he shouted, Come here, you scourges of the city. Bring your weapons of destruction. And immediately 6 men advanced from the upper north gate, each holding a deadly weapon. In the middle of them was a man in white, with a scribe's inkhorn in his belt. They came in and halted in front of the bronze altar, and the glory of the God of Israel rose off the cherubs where it had been, and it went up to the threshold of the temple. And he called the man in white with the scribe's inkhorn in his belt and said, Go through the city, all through Jerusalem, and mark a cross on the foreheads of all who deplore and disapprove of the filth practice in it. And I heard him say to the others, Follow him through the city and strike. Show neither pity nor mercy. Old men, young men, virgins, children, women, kill and exterminate them all, but do not touch anyone with the on his thing on his forehead, and begin at my sanctuary. So they began with the old men in the front of the temple. And he said to them, Defile the temple, fill the courts with the corpses, and go. And they went out and hacked their way through the city. And while they were hacking down, I stayed behind, and I fell face downward and exclaimed, Lord, what? Are you going to annihilate all that's left in Israel as you turn your anger on Jerusalem? He said, The guilt of the house of Israel and Judah is immense, boundless. The country's full of bloodshed. The city overflows with wickedness. For they say the Lord has abandoned the country, and the Lord can't see. Right then I too will show them no pity. I too will not spare. I mean to call them to account for all their behavior. The man in white with the scribe's inkhorn in his belt then came back and made the report that I've carried out your orders.